Hey guys, welcome to the Model Citizen Podcast. We're your hosts, Hunter and Michaela. We are so excited to have you here. All right, let's dive in.
Happy birthday to me. Happy
Dude,
birthday.
I actually can't believe you didn't go and get or at least make a party hat.
Do you know what's so funny is I had them because, of course, you know how when we send the kids their birthday things, we always have like birthday hats on.
Yeah.
And I had like a bunch of extra ones and I was like, I don't need these. So I just tossed them as I do. And then I went down to look for them. And I was like, oh yeah, you tossed them.
This is why you need
Happy
to have
birthday,
access to
dear Michaela.
Happy birthday to you.
You guys, as you're listening to this, unless you're a Patreon listener, if you're a Patreon listener, then you're listening to this the day before my birthday, which is great because that gives you plenty of time to go get me a gift.
Yeah.
Really think out the message that you're going to send me, the DM.
Yep.
Just gives you a lot of extra time. If you are not a Patreon member, first of all, what are you doing?
First of all,
I don't know if you guys know this, but you can actually gift Patreon subscriptions now, which I literally have looked into for the last couple of years to like gift people Patreons. And you haven't been able to do it. Well, you haven't been able to do it until this year. So now you can gift Patreon subscriptions. So if you guys want to become Patreon members and you're like, okay, how do I do this? You just have to go to our Patreon and then just do /gift at the end of the website. And then it literally will just send you to a page and you can gift our Patreon.
Can you do it for like a certain amount of time, like for like 6 months or like a year or what?
I think it's just monthly. So like when you want to, you can say, oh, I'm giving you 6 months of Patreon. You can just tell the person.
Literally like $30, guys.
$30. Send it to your partner,
Wowie.
Send it to your parents, your family, whoever that you think might want to get that for you. Send them a link, be like, I would love this, whatever.
Yeah. Also,
and then
Michaela,
become a member of our Patreon. Yeah.
It might be my light.
What do you mean it might be your light?
Michaela and I have had listen, if you're listening to this, fine. If you're watching this, you should be because that means you're a subscriber of our Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
And my light might be having.
Great. Your setup. Here's the thing. It's because you move it around. And let me just tell you something. Not neon lights are so sensitive. If you even knock them, and I know that you are mom and you are flinging this thing around.
You know what this is from? When we did our podcast with Vanessa Marin. And if you guys
it's from when it fell.
If you guys are not Patreon listeners, that is a shame. Shame. Because you need to go right now, subscribe, go to our Vanessa Marin interview, which was 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I need you to just go about halfway through and see my entire set fall behind me try to power through and act like nothing happened.
And
like,
me and Vanessa are just like...
I was literally kept a straight face. Like, they're not going to notice that my entire sign and everything. And now I'm looking and I think that's exactly what it is.
I think it is. I think you're going to have to repurchase, I fear.
Oh, I fear.
Just another expense for the holidays.
Expense, dude. The holidays, it's so funny because...
I feel like we haven't like talked enough about it being my birthday, though. I feel like we need to bring it back.
We're getting into that because I have questions.
Oh, okay.
I literally have questions lined up. So like, don't worry, we're going to give you enough time. Not that you need any more time. You make the entire season about yourself. I think that really quickly, subscriptions and all that kind of thing are such underrated gifts.
I agree.
Underrated. Like, okay, Patreon subscription, so brilliant. Or like a subscription to like
flowers. You can do flowers every month.
Flowers or like a chocolate box or like there's so many. And I'm like, why are these not more talked about? I just feel like that's so...
I think because we live in such a world where like anything that isn't like handmade is like considered not thoughtful enough.
Yeah.
And I actually have some beef with Etsy sellers. Yeah. And I'm going to talk about that later. I take umbrage right now with Etsy sellers. I'm going to get into brawls. Gird your loins. I'm coming in so hot when it comes to Etsy sellers. So if you're an Etsy seller, keep scrolling. You're not going to like what I'm about to say to you.
You are not going to like it. I'll tell you that much.
Tell you that.
What did you do on your birthday tomorrow?
Well, for my birthday, so we're recording this before, but if you were listening to this, it's either the day before or the day of my birthday. And guys, I'm at Disneyland today.
You guys are going?
We're going to go. Yeah, we're just going to go. Because you know what? And the reason why we were not really sure is because like Disney is so outlandishly expensive. And yes, it's my birthday, but I don't like to spend, like, it's tough for me because I like to spend money on experiences, but not when I feel like I'm getting fucking railed in the ass. You know what I mean?
Are you doing the park hopper?
No, and that's the thing.
Okay, I was gonna say, I was like, wow, did you guys like fall into some money?
No, absolutely no. Absolutely no.
We're gonna do dollars.
No, but like you should be, because if I was doing a park hopper, you should be sending the IRS after me, because where is this windfall coming from?
No, literally, when you told me the price of a park hopper, I just about, my little Mickey ears flew back. Okay.
Your wig and Mickey ears flew to the sky.
No, I couldn't believe. The thing is like, do you remember going to Disneyland? Like, they would sell coupons at the grocery store. You'd go for like
$60 maybe, $40, $60. Yeah. We grew up going to Disney, and this is the thing. And like, even that I feel is so we were very lucky and privileged.
Yeah.
But the cost of it these days, Disney is rolling in his grave, because the whole point of him creating Disneyland was for the everyday family to be able to go and experience a clean, fun environment. And so all that being said, yes, we are going.
Yeah.
We're not doing park hopper. We're just doing the one park.
Yeah.
Because we're not the Bezoses. No, it never is on my birthday. I've been probably 5 times now, maybe 6 times on my birthday.
You guys used to be pass holders.
For years we were pass holders. Yeah. Now?
Okay, now if you want to be a pass holder, the only person who might be a pass holder is Elon Musk.
Selena Gomez?
No, not even. I don't even know if she could afford it. Like,
literally.
Elon Musk.
It's outlandish, dude.
It's what, $1-2 billion a year? Like,
it's literally $2 billion. Don't even get me started on Club 33. Don't even get me started.
Is that a thing anymore? Because it's like, who's going there?
It's first of all, I think it's like $10,000 a month or something, and it's a 2-year waiting list. Dude, kiss my ass with that shit. Disney can kiss my ass. That being said, I'm at Disney right now.
Not Etsy, but you're at Disney. Okay.
I'm at Disney right now. If you yourself are also going to be at Disney the same day I am, you can, by all means, let's say hi to each other. But is there anything worse than when someone hits you with a, oh my God, I'm here too, and then you feel the whole day you're like looking out for the person, like, when are they gonna run into me? I hate that,
dude.
So the only people that know I'm at Disney right now are going to be the listeners, because I'm not gonna post about it until we're gone.
Brilliant.
Which I highly recommend everyone does.
And
I don't know if
this whole celeb.
Mainly because I'm a celeb, but also because we're Southern California people with Southern California friends who also go to Disney during this time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And also seeing someone at Disney and then having to like maybe see them again in line.
And you're just like standing there, you're like, hey.
You're like, this is so, it's like, I don't want to see anybody ever.
I don't want to see anyone ever. Not without me knowing. Like, I have to know. I wish I could see Disney's like roster of who's coming for that day. And I could just be sure it wasn't someone that I necessarily knew. And not that I care if somebody comes up to me. It's just, I think it's actually worse when it's someone you really know and you're just like, hey.
I want it to be like an acquaintance.
Yes, that's fine. Or even someone that we don't know. Maybe someone comes up, they're like, I'm a listener. I love your guys' podcast, whatever. I love that, because I'm like, okay, not only do you get it.
Yeah.
Like, you actually get it. I feel like we're almost closer to listeners than we are to some actual people we know, because you guys are the same humor. You guys get it. You get
Here's the thing. There is a real truth to that, because you get it. Number one, I feel like we share things on here that like we forget to tell our friends. Like,
all the time.
Where I'm like,
Mom listens to this podcast so that she knows what's going on in our lives.
And and that's an issue. And yeah, dude, first of all, what ride are you going to do first as your inaugural 37th birthday?
Right.
Birthday ride.
I always do Pirates first.
Oh, I was going to say Indiana Jones, but yeah, Pirates.
No, I always do Pirates first, because it's like slow enough where it's like, okay, it's not like I don't have a headache immediately and it's not like super intense,
Yeah.
but it's also like so much to look at and it's such a quintessential Disneyland
Oh,
ride. And like, I know, can't you smell it?
I can smell it and I can literally, oh my God, it
But
actually gives me
can you
butterflies.
feel the person at the very end of the ride? Can you feel the boat that slammed into the back of you the
Yes, I
entire
love
time until you
it.
get back up to the front to get off? That
Oh
right
my
there
God.
is where the magic
That's the
happens.
magic, dude. And that's what really
And if
encapsulates.
anyone ever wants to like kind of get that Disneyland feel, I'll come up and I'll push you. I will
No,
literally
literally, I
shove
will
you from
ram my
behind.
car into the back of yours.
That
To
is the
get the
Disney
feeling.
experience. Yes. And I'll steal $500 out of your
No,
wallet.
literally. And I will charge you $9 for Dasani.
Yes. And $75 for parking. Like literally eat my entire ass, bro.
God, I love like the
Mm.
sound, the coldness, the
It's gonna be
it's
it's gonna be in the
so
70s,
good.
low
Oh my
70s, high
God,
60s,
dude.
which
That's
is
like a
like
dream.
that's what I love about going during my birthday is it's always cool. And it's always the day or like a couple days before winter break. And
Yeah.
usually parents are not taking their kids out before winter break. Like
Right.
usually they want their kids to be like
Yeah. You're
in
kind of spoiling
school.
a tip here, but yeah.
Well, I
I'm
know.
just saying next year's gonna be busy.
Next year's going to be just thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of people. Maybe Disney would actually give me a break then on tickets, perhaps. I don't know. We'll see. What I will say is, can I just say something real quick?
Please. Please say something.
On this podcast.
Please say one thing.
I've been listening to a lot of Gracie Abrams. And did you know that she's J.J. Abrams' daughter?
What?
Yeah, she's J.J. Abrams' daughter. She's a Nepo baby.
Wait a second. That's actually so crazy because I have also been listening to Gracie Abrams so much lately. I absolutely am obsessed and I had no freaking idea.
I know. I
Holy
feel like I
moly.
knew that a long time ago. Not a long time ago, but like when she was first kind of hearing rumblings. And then I just forgot about that fact. And then she was on SNL last weekend and everyone's talking about how she's a Nepo baby.
God, I know her from like opening for Taylor.
Right. Yeah, which I think is kind of how she really got, like she's super on the scene now. But yeah, really interesting. But also from two Nepo babies to another, like get it, queen. We love to see it.
God, yeah.
I also will say, like, here's my thing with like the Gracie Abramses of the world and even the Taylor Swifts of the world.
Give me some more beef, dude.
I'm gonna give you some more beef. I've never been so into a guy that I would write a song.
Really?
Never. Not in a heartbroken way. I have never allowed a man to impact me in such a way that I would get my guitar out.
I kind of have, dude.
Okay. And I get that. And I think it's normal for people.
Yeah.
I might be broken in my brain.
You are.
The idea of getting my
You're like
guitar,
the idea of shedding a tear.
one
Absolute
single tear for a man.
Yeah.
I can't relate to this. So when they're like, you're sitting on a couch and you're looking at her and I wish you were looking at me. Bro, I'm in the next room hooking up with his best friend. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't obviously don't mean now. I mean, back in the day, dude, when I was like,
right.
That was never my way of handling. And I never I cannot relate to that for some reason. I don't know why I can't relate to that.
Yeah. I think that like, maybe because you never were really in love until you met your husband, maybe.
That literally could very well be it.
What if it was Martin? You know what I mean?
I would just kill myself. There'd be no writing songs. I would just literally jump off a bridge.
I think
but like
that but also I think that here's my thing.
How do you write so many songs about so many different guys? How do you feel so many things that are so, I don't want to say they're like pathetic, but it's like, but it is kind of sad. It makes me feel bad for the girls. It makes me feel bad that you would let a man like,
but like also like if we're being so for real.
I want to be so for real.
It's like I have let many a man impact me. And I think that like it's the feeling of oh God, dude, you don't like that feeling of heartbreak where you're just like, I can't get out of bed.
I have felt that a little bit with my very first boyfriend because I didn't know what the feeling of it was. I had never experienced that experience of like
Yeah.
heartbreak. And after that, I was like, oh, I'm never going to feel this again. And I never did.
Yeah. You know what?
I made
It
that
is
promise to
giving
myself. Dude, I looked down the barrel and I said,
Yeah.
you're never going to feel that way again. And
Yeah.
I've kept that promise.
Yeah. Bro,
And I'm
I'll
like,
feel that literally and I'm happily married. Like I will put myself back in that place and
I
I'll be like, as
can't.
I'm listening to these songs and I'm happily married with 2 children, like,
If I could go back in time and grab that 18-year-old Michaela by the scruff of her neck and slap her across the face and say, you better
listen.
stand the fuck up right now.
Yeah.
You are not going to feel this way about a man.
Listen. Well, what about a woman?
Yeah, maybe you could feel heartbroken by a woman. I might get my heart broken by a woman. Who knows? But do you know what I mean? It's just like, and I try so hard to relate. Like I'm listening to, and the thing is that what's bringing me this is like Gracie Abrams. A lot of her songs are kind of like that, and I
Yeah.
love the songs, and I love the beats, and I love her voice. And then sometimes the lyrics, I'm like, yeah, and then I'm like, no, that's
Right.
not hitting me.
Right. I think that like
I'm weird, but
honestly, it might also be because you've been in pretty much like 3 relationships. Your first, your second, and your husband. Those have been like your core, like, and they were long relationships. Like your first was like what? 4 years, 5 years, 4 years, 5
My
years?
first was 2 years.
And then your second was like what, 6? Like a long time.
4.5.
Yeah.
And then my husband, and then just randoms in between.
Has been like random.
Yeah.
So it's like, I wonder if it's like, because they've been like such long relationships, you almost outgrew that person before that heartbreak happened.
Probably.
You know what I mean? And you've also never been broken up with. The one time
that part. That part, babe.
The one time, like I'm thinking of the time when you already know who, like was like, oh, I'm leaving or whatever.
That's true.
That was like that feeling of, oh my God, like guttural heartbreak of like,
I guess what it is I can't, I'm not gonna like, I'm not saying I haven't felt it. What I'm saying is like, not long enough for me to get a guitar on my lap and start writing a song. Like now, however, the second this song is over, I'm over it. Do you know what I mean? That's what I mean. I can feel the heartbreak, but it's like I get over it so fast I can never make a full album.
Okay, but you know what you would do? What? You would probably get some watercolors out and start painting.
Maybe.
Yeah, dude, you would.
But bro, I'm not the kind of girl. I'm not like
you would do a Harry Potter.
I'm not like Lainey Boggs where I'm like angrily painting.
Yes, you
like
are.
Throwing. No, I'm not, dude. I literally just paint cute, beautiful things. That's it. Like I like painting is not where I get out like aggression. Painting is where I go to like meditate. You know what I mean? Like that's
You are really a
I'm not trying to be a pick-me. What I'm trying to be is like are my people out there? Like, are these people out there where they like can't quite relate to that? Yeah. Like maybe I'm just a little bit more like I don't know. Yeah. There's probably something missing in the old.
I think for sure. I think what we're learning more than anything is that something's missing, and it's giving a little socio, but like that's fine. I think that as that is a really great segue because like what have you learned in your 37 years on this earth?
Here we
like
are.
It is your birthday. You are 37. It's so funny because I normally forget your age. And
yes, you do.
The other day, what was it? Few weeks ago, I was like, dude, you're going to be 37. And you were like, maybe 36 or 37 or 38. Like you forgot.
I did. Yep.
And alas, here we are, 37. Is there like an age where you thought when you were younger, like I am like, that's not going to be for 50 years until I'm that age.
Right. I would say like 40 really did feel far.
Yeah.
40 felt super far away. And now it is but a whisper in the wind away from me.
I mean, literally.
And I'm honestly good with it. Like I feel like when you go through a really immense loss, you really get a level of gratitude for life and for aging that has a different meaning, and it has a different layer. You know what I mean?
It's
Like
like
you're
every
like,
year is such a blessing.
yeah, I'm like, I'm not going to be mad about gray hairs. Like I'm blessed and grateful that I have gray hairs to look at and to experience. And also like it's great to see yourself change, how your mind changes. You like reflect back on maybe ways that you thought about the world.
Yeah.
And you're like, wow, I've really learned a lot this year.
Yeah.
And I actually do feel like this year was like a good growth year for me.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. I feel like my health anxiety has really subsided a lot.
Right.
And that has been massively helpful.
Is that something that you worked on, or is that
Mhm.
something that you think because of medications?
No, because my medication didn't change, but my mindset did. Well, first of all, going to the doctor and getting everything checked.
Yeah,
It
was
was
helpful.
it time consuming? Yes. I would say it took me all year, basically. I had to sit down and say to myself, okay, make these appointments, do these follow-ups, get these tests done, like wait the weeks and months or whatever it takes to see the specialists, what have you. I think doing that just really closed that door of worry for me. I think, but like, you know, certain things will sometimes trigger it, but I feel like I'm able to step down from it like better than I was before.
Right.
Like even when we were in
Absolutely.
DC, I was like freaking out about being sick. But like then I was like, wait, I'm gonna be fine. And you were even helpful because you were like, Michaela, you've been sick many, many times. You're gonna be fine. And I was like,
right.
She's right. And now I've been sick so many times since then.
Dude, now it's literally a day that you're healthy that's the weird thing.
Is a shocking weird thing. Yeah, exactly.
It's a shock.
So I think that has been really beneficial for my mind.
Right.
This year.
Is there any birthday that you've ever had that is like the most memorable?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say there's two that stick out to me. And
is it your 16th and your 21st?
My 16th, I barely remember, except that one of my best friends passed out during it because she was having a diabetic episode. That's what sticks out to me in that day. Poor thing, bless her heart. Like, I just remember we went to a sushi restaurant. That's what I remember.
God, dude, forgot.
I know, but like that really punctuated that day for me.
Yeah.
Poor thing. Like I felt so bad for that whole situation. But no, my 18th and my 21st birthday. Well,
I remember those birthdays of yours, my own self too.
Right. I feel like those birthdays are so they're literally milestone birthdays, and milestone at a time when milestone birthdays mean something.
Yeah.
And they are I really went pretty hard for those birthdays.
I remember, was your 21st the one with like the teal dress and the crown?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that's so not you to wear that dress with a crown.
It was back in the day though. This was like the Paris Hilton Nicole Richie. I should post the photo of it.
Do you have literally?
Of course.
Yeah. I remember that outfit that you had. You had it down to the shoes, like the beautiful strappy bedazzled shoe. And then I was wearing all black leather jacket and like that purple beanie that was just hanging off. Yeah.
Yes, and I was, dude. You were in your cool girl.
And it was just me and my boyfriend, and we were like, we were probably, if you were
16?
18.
No, I was 21.
Oh, if you were 21, no, I was 18?
Yeah. No, you were 16.
17,
you were 16.
Yeah.
I was 21. But you were always like so much more mature. So it's like you were 16, but you get
Was that when we took a limo to catch up?
Yes.
Yeah. Dude, no, I'm telling you, I remember like the whole I remember the limo ride. I remember being at catch up. I could remember literally, I know mom's friend made your cake.
Yep.
Yeah. Like I remember all of it.
That was a time, dude.
Interesting. Do you think that you'll go all out for your 40th? Like, would you say that that's the next milestone?
Maybe.
Or are you kind of like, after that, it's 50 and then?
I weirdly am like, I love to go all out for other people's birthdays. I'm just one of those people who I want to kind of like do my own thing on my own birthday.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm kind of like, I don't.
Yeah.
If someone threw me a party, that would be different, but I don't want to be like the person who's like, come to my party, you know, like,
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, that just is too much work for just myself.
Right.
Which maybe I need to unpack that a little bit.
Yeah. What did you do for your 30th?
For my 30th, what did I do for my 30th?
God, like that was, if you
I went to Il Forneo with Dad
7 years ago.
and Ilka. Yeah, that's what I did. I went to Il Forneo. I had the balloons. I had the 3-0 balloons that I took a photo of. That was like one of my first photos that went viral on Instagram randomly.
Oh my God. Do you remember when everyone would do balloons every time they would do like a milestone?
Yes.
Like 100,000 followers, 10,000.
Dude, we went all the way to the Brooklyn Bridge to take photos with our 50 and 500Ks. I never posted mine, but yeah, that's wow, what a time.
So wild.
So yeah, those birthdays are very much stick out to me.
Is there anything that you have learned this year? I think when I say learned, I mean like learned in the way of maybe mentally, but also like physically learned. Like, is there anything like in both ways?
I would say, you know, what's so interesting is I was thinking about this because I was like reflecting on the last year. And one thing that I have always really practiced, but kind of didn't realize it was something other people didn't think about. And it was something that was given like a definition by Mel Robbins. And I don't know if you guys follow her, but she's a great podcaster. Yeah, she was on Jamie's podcast recently. Yeah, so she's great. You know, I mean, I think that she has such a great outlook on so many things, and she definitely is worth a listen and a follow. But
is her husband Tim Robbins?
No, I don't think so.
Isn't Tim Robbins
is an actor.
Who's the guy with the banana hands?
I'm sorry, the what?
I don't know, dude. Brian always says banana hand. The motivational speaker.
Oh, that is Anthony Robbins.
Is it Anthony Robbins? Are they married?
No.
Okay.
I think Mel Robbins' husband. Or Tony Robbins, yeah. Huh?
Why does he say banana hands?
Because he has really big hands.
Oh, why is that bananas?
No. Her husband is entrepreneur Christopher Robbins, which like,
okay,
bro, your name's Christopher Robin.
Okay, Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh ass.
That is, dude, so many Robins. Also, she is amazing. Like, I just started following her too on Instagram. She's brilliant.
I think that what she gave a definition to that really was great. That's something that I've really practiced a lot, almost to a fault, is the let them theory, which is if someone is going to walk out of your life, let them. If somebody wants to do something, let them. Like, it is the completely letting go of like trying to control other people's actions. And I think that it's like that's something I've always been pretty good with, and it kind of I guess it validated that is okay to do. Does that make sense? Because like sometimes I'm like, should I be like a little bit more like feeling a type of way about this? But I'm very much of the mindset of like, you just have to and I'm like this with friends, and you know this, like, if you're going to behave a certain way, I am not going to make you be a better friend. Like, I am not going to make you behave better. I'm not going to force anybody to treat me in any type of way. Like, if you just naturally are like a good friend to me, wonderful. If not, I'm not going to sit here and think about it. I'm not going to sit here and give you a list of rules and like a list of expectations. I just want people to live their life and do their thing. You know? And I think that was really cool to see somebody like validate that and to kind of give that like more shape instead of being this like thing that I think about. And I think that that's starting to catch on. And I think, oh my gosh, that it's probably something that releases a lot of tension for people, because I think a lot of people's unhappiness comes from not being able to control certain situations. And the best thing is to just be like, you know what?
Like, my hands are off. My hands are tied.
My hands are tied. Like, I'm going to let you do your thing.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing is like, I think that people live a happier life that way. If it's like, I'm not going to sit here and try to change you, to make things different. You do you, I'll do me. Like, it's, you know, Is there anything physically that you have learned this year? Or anything that I know you're really getting into like baking and cooking, and I feel like that's kind of a
Yes.
newer thing
I've
for
definitely
you.
found my way in the kitchen, y'all.
Do you feel like that
in
is
my trad wife era?
in your trad wife, which is literally just you are the most suspecting person to be a trad wife. It's always
I
the
know.
people who are not that's going to be the trad wife because, as you guys know, if you listen to our, was it Patreon or last episode where Michaela has a sourdough starter? How's she doing?
Sourdough starter is great. She's
Okay.
thriving. I've been feeding her. She's
And have
good
we
to
done
go.
any sourdough yet?
No, I am literally like planning on doing it this coming weekend.
Okay. So maybe that, I always wonder, like, if that maybe enjoyment comes with age, right? Or if it's something that, because we weren't really born into, or we weren't really brought up into a household with like lots of like cooking. I mean, at my dad's house more so, but like our mom didn't raise us like being, a cook.
Do you know what? Do you want to know what it is? Do you know what it is that has brought it on? It's the fact that I'm competitive. And I started eating and realizing
you could do it better.
Just can do this better. I can do this in a way that is more thoughtful. I can cook this at the right temperature for what it's supposed to be. You know me, I love to follow a prompt. I love to like follow a direction to make something amazing and like I want the thing to be perfect. And I think that like
that's so true though, dude. We one time made what was it, banana pudding with like the Nilla wafers on top, and like you wanted it to be and look perfect.
Yes. I just want to do things the right way. This is why me and we always like Katie Storino and I have such like this is why we love etiquette. Like we want things done the right way. And we don't necessarily think that like our way is the only way, but we do think our way is the right way. Do you know what I mean? It's not the only way. Just like you can do long division so many different ways, but there's a right way to get to the point.
Right.
If you want it done quickly, there's a right way. If you want it done the longest possible way, there's a right way.
Is there something that you going into your, I guess if you're 37, you've finished your 37th year. We've had this conversation with our dad so many times. So I guess you're going into your 38th year, right?
I think technically you would say you're going into your 37th year. If you're turning
but like if
37, I get what you mean.
If you're born though, because you have all those months up until
this is why some cultures actually you're one when you're born. There are some cultures in the world right now who.
So I guess in ours you would be in your going into your 38th year.
In our culture, technically, no, because when you're born is 0, and then it's 1. Does that make sense? And then you're going into your second year
up until 1.
You're 6 months. And you're 7 months and you're 8 months. So like technically you could say I'm going to be 37 and then I'm going to be 37 in 1 month in January.
Okay. So
I'm going into my 37th year. Okay. To me, I get what you mean.
I look at it and I go, oh, she's 37, period. Now she's entering in 1 month into her past. Now we're heading towards her 38th.
God, we are heading towards our 38th. We're heading away from my 37th and into 38.
Also, it's like, why does it have to be like this? Why can't we just be born in you're 1 and then you're 1.5, you're 1 in 6 months?
Right.
That's
I don't
stupid.
know. Either way, I'm going into my 28th year.
That's obvious.
And that's
you take
for real.
One look and you go, she's 28. 28. What is something that you're looking forward to going into your 37th or 38th year?
Depending on how, it could be my 37th, it could be 38th. Well, you know that we have plans to move. Mm-hmm. That's going to be my biggest focus.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping we're able to do it this year. I'm going to do everything in my power. Uh-oh, my light just went off for some reason. I'm hoping to do everything I can in my power.
Wow, dude, right when you said move, the light went off.
I don't like that though. That's spooky. Ooh. Is that bad? Is that a bad sign?
No, I like it.
Maybe it's good. It's like a yes, exactly.
It's like
like closing the chapter on my chapter here.
A book falls on your head.
A book. I literally am knocked out. It's like God is like, don't do
A
it.
piano falls on you. You're the roadrunner.
I get up and it's like an accordion. I'm like, wah, wah. I am so stupid. Yeah, guys. So we've talked about it a little bit and people have reached out to me and been like, wait, like talk more on this. And the only reason I haven't talked more about it is because I don't want to like get anyone up in a tizzy because moving
People love to hold you to.
I know, I just don't
hold
want to be
people to things, and I
held.
hate that.
Because if you've ever moving is a big, crazy process, but moving out of the country is a very intense project. So I definitely am like, that's going to be my focus. I'm hoping and praying. And I'm just like, honestly, I read a quote recently that was, if you knock on a door and it remains closed, it means that there's nothing behind it. There's no alternative life that you're being denied. So I'm kind of like,
I like that.
whatever happens is supposed to happen no matter what. So either it's like, it's going to happen this year or there's something better is how I'm looking at it. And I'm just doing the steps I need to take to make it happen, and everything that's in my control, I'm going to do.
Yeah.
So I think that's like something I'm
this year that you would have dealt with differently?
This year.
I didn't prep her for any of these questions.
I'm trying to think. I mean, I feel like you always feel like you want to be doing more, but then I'm also like trying to come from a place of, again, like I'm doing my best.
Yeah.
And I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah. I also think that like it's so weird because time is so weird. Like I feel like at the beginning of this year, up until like 6 months in, it felt like everything was off.
Right.
And
totally. We had a rough year.
We had a really rough.
Yeah.
We've had a rough, weird few years.
Yeah.
But the beginning of this year was very weird and rough, and it just felt off. And like I also feel like the last 6 months, and I don't know if you felt this way too, it's like that feeling of almost like trying to recover from that has been exhausting. And it's like, what can you do different when
you're just in survival mode? When you're in survival mode, which I feel like we were in for a while.
Yeah.
And then I felt like we were kind of getting out of it.
Yeah.
And then boom,
big
beginning
time
of this year happened. And then boom, we got hit again. And then the dogs, you know what I mean? It was like, it was just so many things.
Yeah.
So I feel like we did pretty good this year, considering we've had experienced a lot of loss, a lot of, things like that. But, again, when you're in survival mode, it's like getting out of bed is all that you should do.
Is there anything going into this year, this new year of life, that you are looking forward to, or something that you hope to achieve? We know moving, but like, how about personally?
Right.
Like, I love that you're really leaning into all your artwork. Michaela sent out, instead of Christmas cards this year, she sent out these really gorgeous, I haven't even gotten mine yet, but I'm just saying because you sent me photos of it. These really gorgeous tapered candles that I thought she had got from somewhere. She showed me a photo of them and she was like, are these dumb? And I was like, no, buy them. They're so good. They're so cute. And then she was like, I made them.
Yeah.
And I think that like you, towards like Q3, Q4, you started really leaning back into your art. Totally. And I feel like that's something you really should continue leaning into, because you kind of go in phases, and you kind of go in and out and in ebb and flow. And I just feel like that is something that you should really, truly continue, because you're so good at it. You're so talented and you love doing it.
Yeah.
And
I do.
And I think that like you sometimes are just like, oh, is this even good? And I'm like, people
big time.
would, and then you step out of it for months.
Yeah, I do. I get doubtful, and also, anyone who's a creator, like an artist type person, will, if you are listening, you understand. You also sometimes are like, is this even worth doing? Is this even worth spending my time on?
But maybe that's something you change going into this like new season of life, is like, it's like changing that outlook of, is this even worth it? Just the whole imposter syndrome.
Right. Well, and that's, I posted a reel recently and the quote was, "You're worth the mess that you make."
Right.
And when I read that, I literally cried because when like you've kind of felt growing up like you were not supposed to be messy. You were not
Yeah.
supposed to take up a ton of space. You have to move out of the way to like, make sure everyone else is like feeling good and like being there for
Yeah.
people. And you don't want to cause like a whole lot of rift. You don't want to cause a lot of all of that. It's like sometimes I have to be reminded, even just a physical, literal mess is
Yeah.
okay. It's
Yeah.
okay to like have my paints everywhere. That
Yeah.
doesn't mean that I'm like,
You're
uh,
naughty.
yeah, right, exactly. It's almost like I
Right.
have this like mindset of like, I can't make messes.
Yeah.
And that's not true about not literally and not figuratively. Like you are allowed to fuck up. You are allowed to not be a perfect person. You are
Yeah.
allowed
I
to
think that's another
make
thing you should
physical
bring
messes.
into this new season.
Just making
Just
messes.
let it, like, it's almost like your mantra should be let them and let go.
Let them and let go.
Right?
Absolutely. And let myself like
Yeah,
get
like,
off
but
my
like
own back a
don't
little,
get off
you
your own
know?
back. Like, I think that just letting that go and just like, hey, if it is, it is. If it's messy, it's
Yeah.
messy. You know,
Yeah. If it's
little things
messy
like
and it's
that.
fine. Yeah.
Um, okay, last but not least,
Mhm.
what are 3 things that happened this past year that you loved the most?
Okay, so going to Barcelona
Mhm.
was such a treat, such a dream, a bucket
Mhm.
list experience. Going to the White House,
Mhm.
such a treat, such a dream, such a cool experience. And then I would say probably doing, honestly, our Summer of Self-Love series. Like
Yeah, I
those
was
were
gonna say that was very
3.
cool.
Yeah, those were like my 3, being able to go to Barcelona with Martin and like us experiencing that together. And like we have, some other things planned coming up. Like being able to travel and do things with Martin is like one of my favorite things in the world. It's like
Yeah.
one of our favorite things that we do together. If not our favorite thing that we get to do is just experience new things. Um, Going to the White House and us going was just I never thought that would be something I would do unless I was so deep within politics
Yeah, no,
that
literally
it was like
same.
a job,
Yeah.
like, and that's how I was able to get in there. So the fact that we were able to do that, to go with March 4th and to do that whole experience, was really,
Yeah.
really cool.
And
And
then to
again,
have a sit down meeting with
right. The whole
within the
experience,
White House. Yeah.
I just never thought that that would be something that I would ever be able to do.
Yeah.
Like, you
Oh,
know what I
I
mean? It was like
thought.
a far away, like, wow, that would be so cool, but like, yeah, right. You know what I
Right.
mean? Kind of a thing.
Right.
So yeah.
Oh,
And
I
then
thought.
Summer of Self-Love was
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, that was amazing. And like doing CBS and them launching it,
Mhm.
that was so cool.
It was
So I
really
feel like that,
cool.
as much as we experienced so much grief and loss this year, there's been so much excitement too.
Yeah.
And
Low lows, high highs,
high
really all over
highs.
the place. No wonder we're exhausted.
Yeah, no wonder. And what is your vocalized birthday wish? Not your secret one when you close your eyes, but your one
Mhm.
to put out into the universe for you to speak on and for all of us to manifest.
I want everyone to help me manifest truly this move.
Okay.
Or what is going to be the best for me in that situation and for my family.
Mhm.
I want it to be the best for me, for Martin, for you guys. Like I want the thing that will bring us immense joy to
Mhm.
happen, because I do always take into consideration. I mean, it's a huge reason why I stayed in California was because my family was from here. Our mom is here. Like even as a travel person whose heart is always wanting to get up and go,
Yeah.
I did feel so much responsibility to like kind of hold the fort down a little bit here. And um, it actually makes me like really emotional to think about like leaving and then
Yeah.
you guys not having that tie here.
Yeah,
That
but
specific tie, I know it's like something I've gotten over for sure, or
yeah.
we're getting over the hump. There's a bridge, and
Yeah.
I'm like here.
Yeah.
I'm not fully over it, but
Yeah.
like I'm on the
Here's the
bridge.
thing, you
You
don't have to
know,
worry about me ever in that. I have my whole life and family here. Mom needs to come here anyway. So like,
I know.
Get your ass up and go, girl.
Yeah. Oh no, she's going. So you guys put out the vibes, put out the energy.
We're gonna manifest that. So let's manifest
We're
on
manifesting
that energy. You put that out there, and we are going to pray on that. We are going to put our energy towards that.
I want the Christians. I want the Christians to pray. I want the witches to burn sage. I want our witchy girls. I want our Jewish girls.
Our witchy girls, our bitchy girls.
Our witchy girls, our bitchy girls. I pray in Jesus, in Jehovah's name, whomever. I want our Muslim girls. I want all the Buddhists, everyone. If you guys could. Amen.
It will be done, Alexis Nyers. All right. Well, happy birthday, sister.
Thank you so much.
And thank you guys so much for listening to your birthday episode. So exciting. So incredible. And guys, next week is freaking Christmas. This is cuckoo nuts. And listen, go check out our Patreon this Sunday. There's a brand new episode. We will see you there.
Love you guys. Bye.
Thank you guys so much for listening. You can catch a new episode of Model Citizen every Thursday. And please don't forget to follow the podcast so you don't miss any of the action. We want to hear from you. So please leave a rating and review and follow us on socials for all the behind the scenes action at Hunter McGrady and Michaela McGrady. And don't forget, you are worthy, you are loved, and you are capable of doing all wonderful things. Bye, guys.